calm afternoons where everything seemed softer. The air was warm, the clouds moved lazily, and the school rooftop was quiet except for the steady hum of the wind. Ethan sat near the railing, his bag resting beside him, eyes tracing shapes in the drifting clouds. He came up here every day after class, pretending it was for peace and quiet, but really, he was waiting. A few minutes later, the metal door creaked open and Lily stepped through, holding 2 cans of soda. Her smile caught the sunlight in a way that made the whole place feel brighter. She walked over and said playfully, "You didn't start without me, did you?" Ethan looked up, pretending to be serious. "Of course not. Clouds don't move until you show up." She laughed, the kind of light laugh that made the air itself feel alive. They sat side by side at their usual spot, feet dangling over the edge, the city stretching far below them. Sometimes they talked about small things, a funny teacher, a song they liked, which cloud looked like a cat. Other times, they didn't talk at all. They didn't need to. The silence between them wasn't empty. It was full of quiet understanding. The rooftop became their little world, one that existed outside the noise and rush of everything else. Days passed like that, steady, gentle, perfect in their simplicity. But one afternoon, something felt different. The wind seemed heavier. Lily's smile was slower. Her eyes lost somewhere far away. Ethan noticed immediately. "You're quiet today," he said softly. She hesitated, twisting the cold soda can in her hands. "There's something I need to tell you." The way she spoke made his chest tighten. "My family might be moving," she continued after a pause. "My dad got a transfer to another city. It's not final yet, but it could happen soon." The words hung in the air like the last note of a song. Ethan tried to smile, but it came out small and uncertain. "Oh, that's big news." She nodded, looking down. "Yeah, I just thought you should know." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The wind brushed past them, and the sky above turned a softer shade of gray. After a while, Lily opened one of the soda cans and placed it gently in front of him. "If the wind ever feels warm," she said, smiling faintly, "that'll be me saying hello." Ethan didn't know how to reply. He wanted to tell her not to go, to say something that would stop time, but instead he just nodded. The wind carried her words away, and he memorized everything. The way she looked at him, the sunlight touching her hair, the quiet distance between them that suddenly felt too wide. When summer came, Lily was gone. There was no dramatic goodbye, just a simple message. "Take care, okay?" And that was that. The rooftop didn't feel the same without her. The wind still blew, the clouds still drifted, but everything felt quieter, emptier. Ethan kept coming every afternoon anyway, sitting at their usual spot, sometimes bringing 2 sodas, even though one always stayed unopened. Days turned into weeks, then into months. Seasons began to change. The trees below the school turned gold, and autumn slipped in with its gentle chill. Ethan stopped expecting her to return, but the habit of being there never left him. The rooftop was where he felt closest to her, where her laughter still echoed if he listened hard enough. One afternoon, he stood by the railing, watching leaves swirl through the air. He closed his eyes and whispered, almost to himself, "You were right, Lily. The wind does feel warm." He smiled a little, remembering her voice. And then, suddenly, he heard it. The sound of the door creaking open, the same sound he had heard so many times before. He turned around slowly, half afraid it was just his imagination, but it wasn't. She was there, standing in the doorway, sunlight behind her, holding 2 cans of soda. He froze, speechless. She grinned and said, "Hey, did you forget? The wind always brings me back." Ethan blinked in disbelief, then laughed, the kind of laugh that comes from pure relief. "You didn't move?" he asked. She shook her head, her smile soft and bright. "My dad changed his mind. We're staying. I wanted to surprise you." For a while, they just stood there, smiling at each other, neither sure what to say. Then she handed him a soda, and they sat down like old times, shoulders touching, feet swinging above the city. The sunset painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, and the wind danced gently around them as if it had been waiting for this moment too. Lily leaned her head on his shoulder and whispered, "See, even the wind missed us." Ethan looked at her and smiled, his voice quiet but full of warmth. "Yeah, but not as much as I missed you." They stayed there as the sun dipped lower, the world below fading into lights and shadows. The rooftop, once silent and lonely, was alive again. The wind moved softly, carrying laughter, warmth, and the simple truth that love doesn't need grand places or perfect timing. Sometimes it just needs two people, a bit of wind, and a rooftop where time can stop for a little while.